Today marks 60 years since Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. On August 28, 1963, Dr. King delivered that speech to a crowd on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial for the March on Washington. Well, over the weekend, people marked that historic day with a rally at the same spot, joined by civil rights leaders as well as Dr. King's son.
Dad would probably say, now is the time. We must preserve, protect, and expand democracy. We must ensure that voting rights is protected for all people. We must ensure that our women and children are treated fairly. We must end gun violence. And then, maybe one day we will be a great nation.
And someone who heard those words firsthand, a Coloradan, Dianne Briscoe McKenzie, joining us this morning. Talk a little bit more about her experience. Good morning, Dianne.
Good morning, Jordan. How are you?
I'm well. I thank you very much for being with us early. I know you just traveled back yesterday, so kind of exhausted, I can imagine.
Yes, and my flight was canceled, so I got in last night at midnight.
Oh my, okay, well then really we appreciate you being here this morning. Dianne, we were talking a little bit about your experience there in Washington. Your mother was actually there 60 years ago. You weren't allowed to go, so you were able to go this time, and you said it's kind of in her honor as well.
Yes, when I was 13, she did not allow me to go, and I didn't know why. So when she was in her 80s, in her 80 years of living, I said, why didn't you let me go? And she said, because there were rumors there might be violence, and I didn't want to take a child into that kind of a situation. So I decided I was going to go this year in honor of her.
And what was that like?
It was thrilling. It was exciting. It was very hot and exhausting, a lot of walking. A lot of sitting in the sun, a lot of talking to different people. I made a point to go around and talk to people, and there were people there from every ethnicity you can imagine. That's what meant a lot to me also, is that it was about everyone. It's about rights for everybody, but of course it all started because of the discrimination that Black Americans have faced.
So the last time you were on our show, we talked about the impact that you've been able to make to our Denver community and really to all of Colorado. And now you are over there celebrating the impact that has been made nationwide for the Black communities all across our country. You're talking about the different ethnicities of all kinds. What does that mean to you personally to see all of this?
It was uplifting to see the people and to talk with the people, but on the other hand, it's disappointing that after 60 years that we're sliding backwards and we still have problems about voting rights, problems about education, jobs, disparity in incomes. That's what's disheartening.
Were those big conversations that a lot of people were having there in Washington while you were there?
There were a lot of signs being carried about these different issues, about voting, about education. There were educators there, there were NAACP, all kinds of organizations were represented, and there were all kinds of signs for the different issues that we're facing now in the United States.
Right. It feels like that was a big message from Dr. King's family, at least, especially while at the same time we had the march, we saw what happened in Florida where 3 Black people were killed inside a Dollar General store there. Was that also a topic of conversation that people were bringing up?
That killing had not happened, and the marchers, we weren't aware of it until I went back to my hotel room, turned on the news, and there I saw it. I was going to say the march itself was exhilarating. And then to come back and see that on the news, I literally sat in my hotel room and cried. I cried because I was crying for all of us. Because after all these years, and I know this has been going on and on and on, but I just sat there and I thought, when is this going to stop? When are we going to do something about gun control? When are we going to do something about this hatred that's going on in this country? And I don't know what the answer is, except what was said at the march was we have to organize. We have to organize, we have to stand up and use our voices and use our vote.
Which is exactly what Dr. King was saying all those years ago.
Right.
Dianne, we appreciate you being here this morning, and especially again, we know that travel wasn't easy, so we appreciate it. And thank you for sharing your experience with us.
And thank you for inviting me.
Of course.
Thank you.